Hey, this is Joe. If you're here for the first time, welcome. I speak about the awakening journey process and my journey in the awakening process. I know it started over a year and a half to 2 years ago, and longer, a little bit longer than that. But I share my experiences each day, and uh, and today's experience is that sometimes um, in today's experience about for me is that even though I've tried to help people and some people just don't really get it. I mean, they don't really they take they take advantage of you from all the and help you trying to find that you're providing them, and then they I basically speaking to my attendant who I've been helping for a few years now. I'm helping pay rent. I help paid rent for her during COVID and paid her water bills and stuff. And until she could try to catch up, and she never did. And this today, it's like just trying to even go in and see my house inside my house. I know after 2 years of not seeing it because there's always the excuse of why I can't come in into my own house every time I go, and then finally I just gave her and just gave her 30 days to get out, and that's just what do you call it, kind of tip of the ice, and that's just uh, the last straw, I guess. When you try to help somebody and the person doesn't doesn't get better, whether it's a mental issue or whatever psychological issue. But and then I think what do you call it? And you may ask why? How does this apply to the awakening process? Well, it does apply because when in the awakening process, you'll find that the toxic people, and you'll now that you're awake, you'll see the toxic people, or at least you'll be confronted with the toxic people that's been in your most likely been in your life for a while, and then you have to deal with them, unfortunately, because otherwise, and then God also in your divine team, universe, the divine your divine God universe will deal with them, and at the same time, as far as having you understand that person is toxic and not good for you, and they'll go away over time. They'll leave, but I mean, obviously, it's gonna take. It could take some time, but at the first and foremost is you realizing that that person is toxic. And my family and everybody has been telling me that my tenant is toxic, and that she's not gonna ever pay me back, and everything that I tried to believe or not believe, and to help her to and raise her family and whatever. But now her kids are growing up, and and I'm still getting and still she's still not paying me back or anything. So that those things are hard to swallow, just because you try to help people out in this world, and not to say that you don't help people, but sometimes you just have to realize that some people just need a nudge or a simple helping hand to get through a tough time. But others, no matter how much you help them, it doesn't seem to it doesn't one they just take more, and you have to realize that before you end up either drowning in debt trying to help them, or or I mean or like and yeah or just getting screwed or by them, by just what they take advantage of you. So that's the thing is that the fortunate thing, you're awake. If you're seeing this message, and if it and I don't think I'm the only one, but I think this message goes out to all those that are in relationships, or have had either um, romantic relationships, or or business relationships where that's happened, where I mean you trust the person, and you get into business with them, or and or um, or marry him even, and then you find out later that person isn't what you expected, and that's I mean, and that happens even if you're not in this awakening process. But in the awakening process, I think I mean, I know for a fact it's going to happen more because you're awake, you are seeing reality, you are seeing people. Not only that, your sensitivity to those people and is fine tuned as well. Your level of discernment also is very and is becoming and it's coming online. So everything now that all of your senses are coming online, um, being your intuition, your and your intuition or gut feeling, your discernment whether this person's right for me is um, and then also just the feeling of a person being in the room and whether that and you can kind of I mean like I can feel a person if he or she is telling me the truth and if you haven't just developed that that skill you will and what else and I think it's just a lesson. I mean, for all of us that I mean, sometimes we hope. I think people will change and get better. And even I think in my tenant's defense, I think she just has some mental or psychological issues that she hasn't dealt with, and unfortunately, me keeping her in the house and um, is not going to help her. I mean, she doesn't. She did, one of those hoarders that likes to keep things at the same time. Um, that doesn't help her by by staying in a house that which is she really doesn't is not taken care of. So I don't know. That's my I think this is my message for today. And as I get done with a weekend of dealing with her, and it's obviously it's not going to end because I can assume that she's not going to pay rent or anything else. Um, for the next 30 days. And if I'd be lucky if she even gets out in 30 days, but um, that would be that'd be the best best case scenario, which I don't think would happen. But hey, I'm not going to be optimistic anymore about this. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I mean this applies to the awakening process because you will find yourself in situations where you do find out about, you do feel people, you do um, start questioning whether you're with the person and whom that you trust, and it might not even be your spouse. It might be I mean, I don't know, a brother or sister, could be a neighbor, business partner, whatever. But it will, and your discernment, your intuition will guide you um, to to what, what, how you say it, to whether the person's right for you, and you'll know right away. That's the one thing about this awakening process is your discernment starts to level up, and when you do that, you can your gut feeling tells you right away this person's not right right for you, and that might mean that that person needs to leave and um, because and or get treatment for whatever that person may be doing to you. Whether and that's kind of every situation has its own. I don't know. Its own, I guess, way to addressing it. But I think when I kind of wanted to express my feelings about it, let you guys know that I mean there's certain other similar situations where you're going to be in the awakening process to have to remove. God will help remove people that are toxic in your life by, I mean, you just realizing that they're not, they're not, how you say, it, for the, I mean, for your better you. So, and they're not for you. So, uh, unfortunately, we have to go through it on this, but then, like anything, it's a rude awakening, but it's better to find out now than later, I guess. And that's part of the process. So, um, If you do like this content, please subscribe and like. And if you don't, just skip on by. That's all fine as well. So have a good night, and blessings. Talk to you tomorrow.